Imagine this. You're at a concert surrounded by thousands of people. The anticipation builds as the bass starts to rumble, and suddenly the beat drops. And you don't just hear it, you feel it resonating through your entire body. Your heart starts to sync with the rhythm, your mood starts to elevate, and you feel this connection to people, this invisible force. That force is vibrations. And it's far more than a part of music. It's a fundamental aspect of our universe and our humanity. From the tiniest particle to the largest celestial body, everything vibrates. And you, as human, are no exception. Now, these vibrations, they don't just move through us physically. They actually shape our emotions. They influence our decisions, and they impact our health. They define us in ways we're only beginning to understand. Now, imagine you're shopping, and you feel this inexplicable urge to linger and shop some more. Oh, that's cute. This is no coincidence. It's carefully curated background music to keep you feeling good, looking great, and living YOLO. Whatever it is, it's working. Retail stores that play feel-good background music have shown to get shoppers to stay longer and spend more money, increasing sales by 32%. Now, you are on your last rep. And you can do it. You've got to prove to yourself. Your muscles are tight, and this high energy track plays in the background. 3,
You got this.
2, 1. You did it. This music was not just motivating you, it's actually getting your brain waves for optimal physical exertion. See, we're going through a journey that will change the way you perceive the world around you. We're looking at something about humanity, more than technology we innovate, more than the policies we create. We're looking at a primal and powerful aspect of frequencies. The frequencies we create, consume, and share. Now, this isn't just about music or sound. This is about a hidden language that's been influencing us since the dawn of time. It's about understanding that when we have good vibes or we have bad vibes, that we're actually tapping into a measurable phenomenon that's been influencing and transforming our society. Now, do we have any parents out there? Any parents remember that first ultrasound? Yes. This is a powerful reminder that just because we can't hear frequencies or feel frequencies does not mean they're not working beneath the surface. Ultrasounds let us see life through sound. Proof that even the invisible can create something incredible. When we hear or feel frequencies, our body detects it and sends a signal to our brain, activating various responses. Now, in turn, this activates specific parts of our body, as well as influence our emotion and impact our stress levels, right? By learning to shape and understanding this process, we can actually build our own environments. And when we need to energize, we can play those frequencies. And when we need to promote rest and relaxation, we can play those frequencies. Now, let's just break this down a little bit. Have you heard of Dr. Emoto? Dr. Masaru Emoto, he actually conducted an amazing study. He wanted to see the effects of vibrations and words on water. So he took 2 samples of water, and the first one he spoke love, gratitude, kindness, belonging, and put it in the freezer. He then took another cup of water and he spoke words of anger, sadness, depression, and jealousy, and he stuck that in the freezer. He pulled them both out and examined the crystals underneath the microscope. What he found was striking. He found that the water was spoke positively, had actual beautiful, symmetric, geometric shapes. They connected, they flowed harmoniously. He found that the water that was spoken to negatively was actually chaotic and distorted and fragmented. It did not connect. Research suggests that our words and our vibrations may have more of an impact than we realize, even on something as simple as water. And how much water do we put into our bodies? How much do we consume? 70 or 80% our body is made of, right? Water plays a vital role in nearly everything we do. And where do we store that water? In our own inner wells. You ever wonder where the word wellness came from? So every emotion gives off a frequency, and every frequency promotes an emotion. And anger, joy, love, what we've realized, can be transferred through water, right? And ultimately, we are consumed of water. So we are actually measuring this by a scientific method, a unit called Hertz. Now, Hertz can actually measure the rhythmic pattern and how many times it cycles per a second. Human can hear anywhere from 20 to 20,000 hertz. That's only a small fraction of how many frequencies that actually exist in the universe. One thing to consider is that just because we can't hear frequencies doesn't mean we don't feel frequencies. You know that feeling, that sensationalness when you take off on an airplane and you have this urge to yawn? You know that pressure in your ears? That's the effect of frequency. So just because it's not audible doesn't mean it's not felt. Now, although everyone vibrates, not everybody vibrates in the same way. Some of us are more apathetic. We don't necessarily feel the vibrations, let alone understand the emotions behind them. While others of us are more empathetic. We feel the vibes the second we walk into the room, right? That shouldn't stop us from understanding all frequencies, what? They vibrate. So, of all the parents that raise their hands, maybe aunties, uncles, you know that moment when your baby starts to crash? The flailing of the arms and the overstimulation? Yeah. When my 8-year-old does this, I put this on. I step away and give him some space. Eventually, he gets back into his body and he calms down. This right here is the natural frequency of the earth. It's 437 hertz, also known as the Schumann frequency. This is the first frequency we feel in the womb. It's the first frequency we wake up to. It gives you the feeling of taking your shoes off and standing in the grass or the sand on the beach. It's calm, it's intuitive, it's your core instincts. Now, we've all had moments where we can use this type of frequency. After a stressful meeting, maybe after a disagreement, maybe in high pressure places like the emergency room, right? So the coolest part about this is who in here likes music? Because even legendary musicians, Jimi Hendrix and the Beatles, tuned their guitar to 437 hertz so that they could resonate with the tune of love. Y'all know what that is. This right here, this is what we listen to when we're on the way to the club. Although most of us who raise our hand with kids probably aren't going to the club. Maybe the gym if we're lucky. This right here is a deep grounding. It activates your root chakra. It builds up that confidence. It's that kind of energy you get when you try to hype up, or you need maybe go to a salary negotiation or a TED Talk. This gets your confidence boosting. It makes you want to be somebody. It reminds us that we've got what it takes. Now, on the same note, I've got to tell you, if we listen to this too much, it can become monotone and lead us to depression. Now, this right here, this feels like a celebration. This is a wedding. This is a milestone moment that shifts your entire life. This is that feel-good frequency, that high frequency that gets you believing that it's all possible. This fills you with joy. It activates your heart chakra, gives you connection and grounding. It's the feeling of a live gathering, or even children entering a vivacious classroom. This is what joy feels like when we're wrapped up in it. Now, some frequencies are said to be so spiritual, so profound. Historically, they're reserved for sacred spaces like churches or even powwows. Even Viking ceremonies established that if you go to 963 hertz, you'll tap in with something higher than yourself. It's that powerful harmony, that gospel music that leaves chills down your spine, goosebumps on your arm. It connects you to that higher self, that higher purpose. It's made for manifestation, meditation. It's when you want to connect to something higher than who you are. Now imagine a world where we can develop our homes, our workspaces, our public spaces with this type of knowledge. We can create environments that naturally reduce stress, enhance focus, and foster creativity. We can strategically use frequencies to alter the environment around us. The implications of this is well beyond personal well-being. In healthcare, we're seeing promising results with things like vibroacoustic therapy. It's helping with cerebral palsy and chronic pain. Even in places like the emergency room in Arkansas, they're using frequencies to improve patient outcomes and reduce recovery time. Now, in education, we can optimize classroom acoustics to actually enhance learning and retention. Imagine a school where you walk in the classroom and your most challenging subject focus frequencies are playing. Or on the way walking to the most busiest, craziest time of the day, lunchroom, there's grounding frequencies. Imagine even with urban planners, if they use this type of knowledge. We could create cities that are not just visually appealing, but sonically harmonious. We can design public spaces that have natural calm traffic-induced stress. We can even build sound barriers that block out noise, or even better, emit well-being frequencies. Even in conflict and diplomacy, we can work with frequencies to facilitate a more productive negotiation. Maybe even foster empathy. By reading between the vibes, we open a new frontier to human potential. One where we can consciously harness the power of vibrations, where we can create a more harmonious, healthy, and connected world. Thank you.